Can you dig it, Bulls fans? Patrick Beverly.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Windy City Digits. That's Vic. I'm Carl. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. And we're talking Bulls today.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone that checked us out last week in our return from being off for a couple months. Thanks to everyone that chimed in. We do appreciate you guys very much. And Vic, the P Bev era has started in Chicago.
That's funny how you put that.
Hey, one win. He's a plus 44 in point differential. Who else comes in and has a 44 point win differential? Huh? Who does that?
Nobody, man. We'll see if that's an anomaly, but the Bulls look like they were energized from the start and they never stopped. I mean, that was just like so they only scored 87 points against the Bulls. I was looking back for the last 2 months at least to see if the Bulls kept any team under 87 points. And I could not see that.
Brooklyn only scored 11 points in the second quarter. They had 29 points at halftime. The Bulls had 33 at the end of the first quarter.
Well, they were the Bulls. Okay, so one thing I noticed about Patrick Beverly, man, Patrick Beverly is like a little bee. He was like sprinting from guy to guy, helping out, double teaming. He's an excellent defender, and he's pushing guys. He's even giving them gentle pushes to go in the right direction. And you can even hear the Bulls announcers talking about, you hear all that talking?
Yeah.
And it's not just him. He was talking that was leading other people to talking.
He's the guy at the Park District that runs the court, shoots his mouth the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And you think yourself, I want my shot at that guy. And then you go out there and he just bullies you. And then
nonstop.
He just bullies you. He's in your face. He's talking smack the whole time.
And you're getting angry.
Yeah, you get mad. And next thing you know, he's blowing right past you. And then he's hitting fadeaway jumpers in your grill and still talking as the ball's still in the air. He hasn't even gotten anywhere near the net yet, and he's still talking smack. That's who Pat Bev is. Now, look, Chicago now has two of those guys, right? Patrick Beverly and Alex Caruso. Those are two of those guys like you want on your team, but you don't want to play against them, right?
Yeah.
So, look, I was going to ask you about this. What was your thought? We'll get more to Patrick Beverly in a minute, but what was your thought about Alex Caruso in the starting lineup instead of Patrick Williams?
I thought it was genius. Yeah, I didn't want. We're going back months. I didn't want Patrick Williams starting to begin with.
This was before the season started.
Yeah, so I don't know. I do worry. Maybe this was just because of the Nets. They're kind of an undersized team, so we'll see against the Wizards. I mean, you got Gafford and who else is
Porzingis is out for tonight. He's not playing tonight. So
okay, so maybe it works out, but I'm wondering if Billy Donovan is going to continue this, or was it a little bit about matchups? But I do like the fact that you've got really two good defensive-minded, pass-first guys with the three-headed monster that you're hoping that would develop. They played really, really good together.
Like, look, you really got two. You have two guys in that starting five, and Patrick Beverly and Alex Caruso that don't care about their points.
Correct, and they're cutters. They're moving.
Yeah, and then you got three score. You got three scorers in that starting lineup with DeMar, Zach, and Vooch, who are your primary scorers, and you want those three guys to be scoring anyway.
Yes, amen. And you know what was nice to see too. Was Patrick, which I know you're going to talk about this later, so I won't steal your thunder, was Patrick Williams coming off the bench with 17 points and 6 rebounds. That's the guy that we were hoping for. If he had this every game this season, the Bulls would be doing better than they were.
Yeah, do you think he look, he got demoted from the starting lineup, but do you think I get it's only one game, but do you think he feels more comfortable coming off that bench?
Yes. Yes, and I think he said that before too.
Like he'd rather
I
come
think
off the bench.
no, not that he'd rather come off the bench, but it's almost intimidating to be playing with those guys that are the shoot first, that want the ball, that are the stars. Like he seems to think he needs to defer to them. I think it's kind of a young guy still trying to find his way, honestly. As much as we want to give him garbage about it, I think it's probably tough with those three guys that he's playing with. And then you got Derek Jones Jr., who finally got some playing time. I was kind of surprised. He's
He's been
healthy
hurt.
again.
Yeah.
I know, but he got, they were playing some other guys even before DJJ. That new guy Taylor, Dalen Terry looked really good coming off the bench. He was 3 for 3, had 11 points. All right, so another unsung hero, Io, coming off the bench too.
Yeah.
The dude, he had 9 rebounds, man.
Yeah.
7, 9, and 3.
Look, I think Io is slowly just learning, like he understands that every game it's going to be different for him. And he understands like some games it's going to have to be scoring, some games it's going to have to be rebounding, some games it's going to have to be just managing the ball. Um, but I think
Mhm.
he's going to put the Bulls in a very tough position in the offseason. Whether or not to bring him back because he's in a contract year.
Yeah.
His rookie deal will end this year.
Yep.
He's going to put and depending how Pat Bev plays over these last 20 games or so, he's going to put the Bulls
Yeah.
into a tough spot also.
No, very good point, man. I mean, as much as I like Io, I don't I don't know if we necessarily need what he brings to the team. Um, I think if Io was a guy that had better handles and could dish the ball off, he's exactly what we need. But that's not his forte. That's not his niche. I think that's where. But his defense is solid.
I think he's going to become a very good scorer in the league.
Maybe with another team. I don't. I just don't see it.
Look,
I
the
don't
whole
see it
thing
with
the
the
whole
Bulls.
thing starts with Lonzo, and if Lonzo comes back next year or not. But even if Lonzo does come back next year, you can't expect him to play a full season.
I don't see. Do you see Lonzo coming back? I don't. I think Lonzo might be like done.
Um, look, either Lonzo comes back or he's done. That's one of the two things because no team's going to take him,
No.
right?
As a Bulls fan, I think we have to look forward to saying he's not coming back.
Um, so if he doesn't come back, but no matter what, if he doesn't play next, the only way he doesn't count against a roster spot uh, is if he gets traded. Otherwise, he's still under contract for next year,
Yeah.
right? So that's still a roster spot, right?
Yep.
Do
Yep.
you think that means now Kobe White's gone?
Yeah. I'm tired of Kobe White.
What about Dragic? Do you think Dragic is gone?
Dragic is gone. Yeah.
Okay, and then that means your choice then would be potentially between Patrick Beverly, Io, and Dalen Terry.
I don't know why. I don't know why they drafted Dalen Terry. Honestly, I mean, I love his energy, but and he shot 3 for 3 from 3 point at the game the other night. So like, if he develops a 3 point shot, then I'm happy. They need some 3 point shooters. Kobe White is not consistent enough. He's back into that same old trend of he was great in the beginning of the year and he stinks right now. He's part of that huge 3 point gap that we have. I mean, you would think out of all the guys on our team that he would be able to score a little bit better than he is.
All right,
I'm
so
done with Kobe White.
yeah, so it puts us into some challenging positions next year, and I guess the other part of it too is if we make the playoffs or not. Because if we don't make the playoffs, that puts
Yes.
us in position for a lottery pick.
Yeah. No,
And
you're right, man.
I haven't looked that closely yet as to what guards would be available.
Either
But
either have I. Either have
um,
I.
that's probably a conversation for another day. But it does put us in a different spot, which leads us to tonight's game. We're recording this on Sunday, and the Bulls are playing the Wizards tonight. Now, the Wizards are exactly a game and a half ahead of the Bulls for the last playoff spot, right?
That's
As
right.
Bulls fans, naturally, we want the Bulls to win every single game. Reality is, do you want them to win this game or not tonight?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
All
I
right.
do. You know, as much as we talked on our last episode and we counted out how many games the Bulls were going to win, I think we came up with 4 or 5
Yeah.
based on the roster before we got Beverly. And then
Yeah.
and then I had a lot of doubts about what Beverly would bring. If he brings this to the table where their effort is like this, I don't know, we might win 13 games
So
and get
you're
and sneak into that play in.
Yeah, look, you're 2 games behind in the loss column. You're 2 games behind Toronto and the Wizards. Toronto's in ninth place. The Wizards are in 10th place, but they both have 31 losses. The Bulls have 33. So if they win tonight, they will be a half game of the Wizards for that 10th spot.
Yeah.
And then Atlanta's not that far ahead of them, and then Miami. So look, does this change? Does this Patrick Beverly? It's only been 1 game,
Yeah,
but
too
does this
early to tell.
change? Does this change your outlook on the Bulls for the rest of the season? Like, do you think now they could legitimately make a run in these last 20 or so games?
You know, as Chicago fans, there's a lot of things that we talk about, and ifs is a big one. I mean, if if the Bulls have that energy that they brought to that New Jersey Nets game, then then yes, then it does change my outlook. If they play like that every single game, where their defense is on point and they're energetic from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, and we're talking about 48 minutes of intensity. You got it? 48 minutes of intensity, Carl, coach.
I'm not motivated.
Gosh, darn it. All right, if they have that,
You sound like Billy Donovan's been like telling the team all year. I just need 48 good minutes from you guys of defense all year.
then
They go out there
well,
and lay an egg.
like I said, big ifs. Tonight, if we see the same thing against the Wizards, then I'm changing my
You're changing prediction to 6 wins instead of 5.
my tune again, man. Now we're gonna go through the list again. We're gonna go through the list again if they win again. Like if they have like a 15 to 20 point win against the Wizards, you and I are gonna go back
We're gonna
on
go
here next
put in
week.
another video tonight, and we'll go
We're
through
gonna
the
go,
games again.
yeah, that's right.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think we are capable of making a run? Does Patrick Beverly change anything in your minds as far as the Bulls and how the rest of the season is going to play out? How do you guys like the Patrick Williams move to the bench, starting Alex Caruso over him? And I guess here's the other question, right? Is if Alex is with his load management and if he gets hurt again, do you put Patrick Williams back in that starting lineup, or do you put someone like DJJ in there?
Ooh, good question, man. I like that. I
Would
would
like
put DJ.
DJJ in there,
I would put DJJ in there, man.
and
I
then
think
lay
that's
Patrick Williams on the bench.
yep. And then that leaves consistency for him, and that allows DJJ to get in there and cut and make some dunks and be that facilitator more than a guy who's just going to stay outside and stand there waiting for the 3 point. Hey, can I make a point here? The Bulls at the 11th spot, they are a plus +0.5 point differential at the number 11 spot. The Wizards are a plus +0.2. The Raptors are a plus +0.9. The Hawks are a negative -0.1, and the Heat are a negative -0.5. There are 3 teams that have a negative point differential, and the Bulls are at the 11th spot. What does
So
that tell you?
what does that tell you?
What does that tell you?
That tells me our defense sucks.
Our defense is better than through 2 of those teams. Yeah. Yeah, our defense has been lousy. So if we pick it up, maybe that is the differential into making the playoffs and actually. I mean, we know we've beat these other. The funny thing is we could beat the Celtics. We beat the Bucks. 76ers, I'm not sure. Cavaliers, not very good. Nets, they're nothing now.
Cavaliers, we have leads in every single game.
Yeah,
we just can't hold on to the lead.
Correct. Knicks, we've been very competitive with. I don't see anyone on here except for the Bucks that actually scares me.
The Sixers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a good point. Bucks and Sixers. Yeah.
The Sixers scare me. The Bucks don't scare me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do. But look, if this lineup with Caruso in there in the starting lineup will not work against the Bucks.
No, not at all. No,
it will not work against the Bucks.
No. In fact, I think we've been torched by Brook Lopez horribly. It's almost like you need two bigs in that game against the Bucks, and not Patrick Williams.
No,
I would like to see a Drummond and Vooch.
Drummond's playing well.
Start against the Bucks. He is, man.
Drummond.
He had a double-double in I don't know how many minutes the other night.
Like 5 minutes. He had like a double-double in like 5 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, I barely saw him in the game. I mean, granted, he had like 3 or 4 rebounds on one play, but
I just don't get why. I get you want Vooch in the game. I just don't know why we're not stretching him out and saving some minutes for Vooch. I don't get why we're not stretching Drummond an extra 2 or 3 minutes a game.
I totally agree with that, man, because I think it's going to hurt Vooch's legs on his shot. Down there.
And I do think there's going to come some point in time in the near future where you're going to have to play Drummond at the end of the game.
Yeah, depending on the matchup. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think at some point, especially if you need defense, you're going to have to go that offense-defensive thing and put Drummond into the game for that. And I think that rule, like that take foul rule where, like the hack-a-shack rule is now in effect. So if they try to hack Drummond, I think it's 2 shots or 1 shot and a ball on the side. If they try to do that strategy within certain time frames. So I think outside of 2 minutes, you can't do that anymore. So having Drummond in a game isn't going to hurt you, but he's been shooting free throws okay recently.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah. If he was just a little quicker on defense, I mean, I think that's the one thing that he's been lacking probably his whole career. He's a big dude. He just doesn't. His quickness isn't there. So
he's like Bill Cartwright.
Yeah, big Bill.
Can't move. But yeah. All right. So everyone, thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Let us know what you think of this new look Bulls with Patrick Beverly. We lost out on Westbrook. We lost out on some of our favorites. We got Pat Bev. Maybe it's the right guy. Maybe it's the right fit. Right place, right time. Do you think the Bulls can make a run in the second half here in the last 22 games? Well, let us know what you think about Alex Caruso and the starting lineup. Patrick Williams. Again, we do appreciate everyone for tuning in. Hey, thanks to everyone for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Love.
And digits.